So today we're doing a camera comparison between the OnePlus 13 and Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. And you can look at this comparison in one of two ways. Number one, the S24 Ultra should probably win hands down based on specs alone. But I will say this, that these comparisons aren't one on paper. Or number two, as an opportunity where the OnePlus 13 could provide you a really great camera experience and save you a bunch of cash. So as I always do, I'm going to show you a bunch of photos and videos in both good and low light conditions to help you decide which of these two camera systems is going to be best for your smartphone camera needs. So go ahead and take a look at all the photos and videos and let me know what you think. Everyone, so here's a video test of the rear cameras on the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. As you can see, they are actively recording from the rear facing cameras. And we're going to start this out with the ultra wide angle cameras on each at 4K 30 frames per second. So I'm just going to pan around so you can get a side-by-side view of how these ultra wide angle cameras compare in this particular location and scene. And we'll go ahead and pan up here and move into the main camera. So on the OnePlus and on the S24 Ultra. So now these are both the main rear cameras. So same thing, I'll just pan around here so you get a side-by-side view of how the main cameras are performing in this particular setting. And it's a bit overcast, so it's not going to be super sunny. Not going to get as much contrast and dynamic range, but it should still give you a pretty good idea. There's still some blue sky over there and still some good colors in the park here. So let's go ahead and pan this way and we'll do our usual zoom test on that cell phone tower. So 3x telephoto here on the OnePlus and the same on the S24 Ultra. Side-by-side view of the 3x telephotos. Now Samsung does have a 5x telephoto as well, which is right there. And we can move into roughly a 5 times zoom here on the OnePlus. So you can see what that looks like here side by side on both phones. And we can move into a 10x zoom on the Samsung and another 10x zoom here on the OnePlus. So I'll just hold this here so you get a side-by-side view of that. And then we can move into a max 18 times zoom on the OnePlus and a max 20x zoom here on the Samsung. Both looking pretty clear and pretty steady. So we'll back this out on the Samsung and on the OnePlus. So now main camera again, and we'll test autofocus here on the post real quick. Away, focusing up and away, and one more time. So pretty quick autofocus on each as you would expect. And we'll just test stabilization by walking down the stairs. As we go through the pathway here, you can see what it looks like side by side. And I'll just jog to try to stress out that stabilization. So there you go, a quick video test in 4K on the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. So we're back with the rear cameras, this time testing out portrait mode on the OnePlus 13 and S24 Ultra. So you should be seeing this artificial background blur right now. On the OnePlus, I have it at f/2.8, and on the Galaxy, I have it at 5/7 in strength. So this is adjustable to be as strong or as weak as you want. And in this mode, the OnePlus is limited to 1080p resolution, while the S24 Ultra can record in 4K. So I'm just going to pan around so you can see how this effect holds up into some of the changing light. And it is overcast, but the sun would be coming out from the back of me here and shining into those cameras. It's not going to be intense at all because of the cloud cover, but the exposure should probably be changing a little bit because of that. And we'll pan all the way around this way where the sun should be coming directly more on me, but overall I think the exposure should be more even right now. You can see what the effect looks like here in this particular lighting. And we'll just walk so I can test the stabilization as well as show you how this effect holds up with some movement. So let me know what you think about portrait video from the rear cameras on the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra.
Let's go!
Hey everyone, so here's a quick front-facing video test of the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. This is being shot at 4K 30 frames per second, and you'll notice it's a bit overcast today, so not as much sun, so you're not going to get as much dynamic range or as extreme sun test, but this will be a little more balanced, so the picture quality should be looking pretty even and pretty good because of that. So we'll just start panning around. So the sun would be coming out of this way, and so you can see some glare and how that affects the exposure here into the camera. And if we pan around this way, you can see it would be shining directly on me, but you see the background and the exposure kind of clear up. So it is affecting it a little bit, but You can see what the quality looks like there with some of the changing light. And so I'll just start walking and we'll test the stabilization so you can see that side by side here. So let me know what you think about the front-facing video quality here on the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. Hey everyone, so we're back testing the front-facing cameras on the OnePlus 13 and S24 Ultra. This time it's portrait video, so you should be seeing this artificial background blur, and it's adjustable on both devices. So I have it at f/2.8 on the OnePlus and 5 out of 7 in strength on the Samsung. So if you can dial this back or make it stronger if you want. And in this mode, the OnePlus is limited to 1080p resolution, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra can shoot in 4K. And so I'm just going to do the same test. So the sun is coming off of my right now. If I pan this way, it would be coming directly into the cameras, but again, because it is overcast, you can see the exposure get a little bit blown out a little bit because of that, but overall not too bad. And we'll come around this way so you can see how the effect looks with where the sun will be coming directly more on me, and everything looks a little bit more even. The effect looks pretty good in the viewfinder. And I'll just walk so you can see what this effect looks like and how it holds up with some movement here. So let me know what you think about portrait video on the front-facing camera on the OnePlus 13 and S24 Ultra. Alright, so here's a low light video test of the rear cameras on the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. This is the ultra wide angle camera on each to start at 4K 30 frames per second. So I'm just going to pan around so you get a side-by-side view of these ultra wide angle cameras and how they look here in this particular scene at night. And so let's go ahead and move into the main camera right now. So on the OnePlus and on the S24 Ultra. So as usual, everything brightens up because these are the main sensors. They're larger and let in more light. You can see really clearly now those trees and the definition against that night sky and those clouds. Really good dynamic range there. You get some shadows in those trees as well. So I'm just going to pan around side by side so you get a view of these main cameras and how they compare in this exact same scene, how they're handling that really bright street light and everything else that's going on right now. And we'll go ahead and even move into the telephoto lenses now. So we got a 3x telephoto on the OnePlus, and let's go 3x telephoto on the S24 Ultra. And S24 Ultra, even after the updates, still has this weird tint here in low light on the telephoto lens, but I'll pan down so you can see what it looks like here in a little bit more light. Again, telephoto lenses, a little bit smaller sensors, and again how they handle the bright street light and background this way. And we can also go into roughly 5x here on the OnePlus. That's going to be a zoom on the telephoto, and you get a 5x optical telephoto zoom here on the OnePlus. And that telephoto seems to look better, a lot less of that purplish tint that you saw from the 3x telephoto lens before. So again, same deal, just panning around so you can read that sign. Let's go ahead and back out the main lens on the Samsung and on the OnePlus. And then we'll go ahead and pan around this way just so that we can test the stabilization as we start walking, as well as what everything looks like here in a little bit less light down this stretch of the walkway. And if there's any kind of micro jitters, which there always will be, again, it just depends on how much. And as around the corner, you get to see that really bright street light, so you can see how it handles bright to a little bit darker to bright light transitions here. And we'll just pull up here on the walkway. And we'll just start panning this way up into the night sky. It is cloudy, so you can see some of those clouds there. And let's see how much noise these cameras introduce by trying to brighten up the scene. And again, with some of that cast off light from the bright street lights behind us, as well as some of the lights that's coming off of these buildings here and down into this darker stretch of grass, which is much darker than what these cameras are portraying. It's trying to brighten up everything. But let me know what you think about this 4K footage here at night from the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. Hey, so here's some low-light video from the front-facing cameras on the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. This is being shot at 4K, 30 frames per second. And right off the bat, you'll notice that the OnePlus has the wider field of view. You can fit more in the frame than the S24 Ultra can. And I'm in my usual testing spot here with some good lighting around me, so you can see what these front-facing cameras can do in some pretty optimal light at night. And so I'm just going to point up here so you can see the really bright street light behind me and how that's affecting the overall picture quality and what that looks like into these front-facing cameras. And so we'll just go ahead and start walking so you can see side by side the stabilization and how they compare. And I always show those bright street lights because, like I always say, if you're shooting at night and you have bright lights around you, you'll know what to expect from the quality of these cameras. And so a little bit darker area here so you can see what that looks like here as far as picture quality. But we'll pull up here and we'll pan all the way around. So again, you can see a bunch of those bright street lights and how they're affecting the overall picture quality and how these front-facing cameras are handling them with them shining directly into them. And again, you'll see some holiday lights behind me as well. But we'll move back this way so you can see what the picture quality looks like here side by side in this darker area here and much less lighting. So let me know what you think about the overall quality here on the front-facing cameras at night and the overall comparison between the OnePlus 13 and Galaxy S24 Ultra. Do you think the OnePlus 13 held up against the much pricier and beefier camera hardware of the S24 Ultra? And overall, I thought it really did. I thought it went toe-to-toe in a lot of shots. I think at the price point, the OnePlus 13 has a very good set of cameras and is a very good buy. But let me know what you think. What you use your smartphone cameras for will really dictate which one you personally prefer to use on a daily basis. Let me know what that is. And if you have any other questions, try to leave them down below and I'll answer what I can. And as always, thanks for watching.